All right, we are here at the city of Capernaum. This was the city that Jesus spent a lot of time in, did a lot of teaching, healing here. This behind me is the ancient city of Capernaum, lots of houses, residential areas. And if we remember the story of the lame man that was lowered down through the roof of a home, it happened in one of these houses here behind me. This is not a very large city, and this would have been the residential area. So Jesus would have taught, met in homes here, done a lot of his preaching and healing here. And so one of these homes behind me is a home that they lowered the lame man down through. All right, guys, I'm standing here in the main synagogue here at Capernaum. Right behind me, you can see these white stones. These actually would have been closer to the 3rd to 4th century, so a little bit after the time of Jesus. But right below this, there are some black stones from the 1st century. So this synagogue was rebuilt on top of where this 1st century synagogue would have stood. And so Jesus would have been here. He would have taught in this synagogue, as he would have spent many, many days and maybe even months here, being teaching and preaching to the crowds and healing, doing many, many things here. It's just incredible. Okay, guys, there's something extremely special behind me. This being at Capernaum, so Peter would have been living here. He was born and raised in Bethsaida, but he worked here. Of course, this is where Jesus spent a lot of his time. And right behind me, you see an octagonal structure surrounded by another octagonal structure. In the early Byzantine era, this octagonal structure was found built around a small home and a small room. And so one must ask, why did these early Christians build a church around this small room? And then when they excavated this room, they found ancient graffiti from the 1st century that said things like, Jesus is Lord, speaking about Jesus. And so what I think, or what most people think we have behind us, is the ancient home of Peter, where Jesus would have stayed. So it's incredible to be fairly certain of a place that Jesus actually walked, where he stood, and probably where he slept for a night or so, right here in Peter's home. All right, guys, I am here at the edge of Capernaum and the Sea of Galilee. I mean, you can see literally right behind me the beach that goes right into the Sea of Galilee. So most likely this is where Peter would have had his fishing boat, and we hear about the miracle of Jesus just causing a miracle of fish to appear in Peter's fishing nets, where Jesus most likely would have called a few of the disciples to become fishers of men, to leave their fishing business and to follow him, and just get an incredible picture of the life that they would have lived here, right here on the edge of Capernaum and the Sea of Galilee.